I think the time to buy a house is when you need one.
I decided to buy a house when the down payment was about 10% or so of my net worth, because I really felt I wanted to use the capital for other purposes. But that was a way different environment.
You might be familiar with a long-standing belief that owning a house is the ultimate goal. But according to Charlie Munger, it's not a correct decision, as many of us don't know when to buy a house. In the third quarter of 2023, the number of people owning homes in the United States went down a bit to 65.9%, compared to 66% at the beginning of the year. Looking ahead, experts and global models at Trading Economics predict that this trend of fewer people owning homes will likely continue until the end of 2023. So exactly why is the interest in homeownership declining? What should you do? Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Why Trend Money, for valuable financial knowledge that can make you rich. Let's take an in-depth look. First, we'll zero in on why you shouldn't buy a house. 1. Income to house price ratio. Think about how much money you make compared to how much houses cost. After stagnating between 2017 and 2019, house prices in the United States dramatically increased in 2021 and 2022. The average sales price of a new home, which was $391,900 in 2020, surged to $540,000 in 2022. Given that, right now, houses are more expensive compared to what people earn. According to Statista, the median household income was $74,580 in 2022, a decrease from the previous year. Millennials, for instance, had a median millennial household pre-tax income of $71,566 in 2020. This means it's especially tough for young people, millennials and Gen Z, who want to own a home. 2. Artificially high prices. Not only are houses expensive, but their prices are also being raised purposefully. In 2022, the median sales price for existing single-family homes in the United States soared to nearly $393,000, marking a historic high. This continuous upward price trend has persisted since 2011, with a remarkable surge of over $100,000 observed between 2019 and 2022. For this reason, there are not enough houses for sale, so everyone wants to buy the few available ones. This high demand makes sellers increase their prices, even if it doesn't really match how much houses are worth. This makes it super difficult for many people to afford a home. 3. High mortgage rates. Getting a loan to buy a house, aka a mortgage, is getting more expensive. The interest rates on these loans are increasing, making it harder for people to buy or sell houses. Basically, it's like the cost of borrowing money is going higher, and that's not good news for anyone who wants to own a home. 4. Bidding wars. Now there's a new problem. Many people are fighting over the few houses available for sale. They're offering a lot of cash to get the house, making prices go even higher. Think of it like a big competition, but it's not helping regular people who just want a place to live. What it's doing is making houses unreasonably expensive for most people.
Not through with bank failures, but we are through the depositor. The depositors haven't had a crisis. The owners of banks may have lost a hell of a lot of money. The people who bought the debt of the holding company, they may lose a lot of money. People can lose a lot of money, but the depositors aren't. And so you don't need to turn a dumb decision by managers into a panicking the whole citizenry of the United States about something they don't need to be panicked about.
5. Cash purchases. Further complicating the landscape is the prevalence of cash purchases, constituting 1/3 of U.S. home acquisitions. Many people are buying houses with cash, meaning they have a lot of money ready to pay for the whole house up front. This makes it really hard for regular folks to compete. The rich people are taking over the housing market, and it's leaving out those who don't have a ton of money. 6. Regional disparities. Not all places have the same housing problems. Some areas with cheaper homes are doing okay. But in fancier places where homes cost a lot, it's tough for sellers. The Midwest emerges as the most affordable region, while the West stands out as the most expensive. Homes in the West command a price tag exceeding $100,000 more than their counterparts in the Midwest. This uneven situation makes it good for some people but hard for others who want to buy or sell. 7. Airbnb and VRBO impact. The real estate market is not only influenced by traditional transactions, but also by the burgeoning trend of short-term rentals through platforms like Airbnb and VRBO. See, more people are renting out their homes on Airbnb and VRBO, especially in touristy areas. This might be good for those making money from tourists, but it means fewer homes are available for people who actually live there. Less supply can make house prices go up.
Most people like to buy with non-recourse in real estate. And one time I asked Charlie, there was some real estate guy we were talking to him, and how do they decide how much a building like this is worth? And the answer is it's whatever they can borrow without signing their name. And if you look at real estate generally, you'll understand what the phenomena that's happening if you remind yourself that that's the attitude of most people that have become big in the real estate business, and it does mean then that the lenders are the ones that get the property, and of course they don't want the property usually, so then the real estate operator counts on negotiating with them, and the banks tend to, extend and pretend, and there's all kinds of activities that arrive out of commercial real estate development, which occurs on a big scale, but it all has consequences, and I think we are starting to see the consequences of people who could borrow at 2.5% and find out it doesn't work at current rates, and they hand it back to somebody that gave them all the money they needed.
8. House flipping slowdown. There's a slowdown in people quickly buying and selling houses for profit, known as house flipping. Before, it was a good way to make money fast, but now it's getting harder. People might have to sell houses at a loss because it's not as profitable as before. This slowdown shows that the housing market is changing, and making money from quick sales is not as easy. Now let's talk about what you can do instead of buying a house in the current challenging market. 1. Look in affordable areas. So instead of focusing on expensive places, consider exploring more affordable areas like Phoenix, Arizona. There are viable and reasonable options in places you might not have initially considered. Basically, broaden your horizons and rethink the idea that owning a home is only possible in certain high-demand areas. 2. Consider modest options. In the changing world of real estate, looking at more modest choices makes a lot of sense. Rather than dreaming of big houses, think about condos, smaller homes, or properties in less popular areas. The idea is not to see these options as compromises, but as opportunities to redefine what you want in a home. It's a chance to adjust your expectations and see value in different kinds of properties.
This question comes from Tom Seymour. He says the first sentence of a recent Financial Times article read, Charlie Munger has warned of a brewing storm in the U.S. commercial property market, with American banks full of what he said were bad loans as property prices fall. Please elaborate on what's going on in commercial real estate. How bad will the losses be, and what sectors or geographies look particularly bad? I'll just add an addendum from another viewer who wrote in and wanted to know if Berkshire would be more active in commercial real estate as a result.
Well, Berkshire's never been very active in commercial real estate. It works better for taxable investors than it does for corporations taxed the way Berkshire is. So I don't anticipate huge effects on Berkshire, But I do think that the hollowing out of the downtowns in the United States and elsewhere in the world is going to be quite significant and quite unpleasant. I think the country will get through it all right, but as they say, it will often involve a different set of owners.
3. Prioritize financial prudence. The significance of being smart with money when buying a home cannot be overstated. Instead of following what everyone else is doing, reassess your priorities and question assumptions. Take a hard look at what you really need in a home and make choices that align with your long-term financial well-being, not just what society expects. Note that this advice is about being financially smart and carefully thinking about what makes a wise investment in real estate. 4. Pay off your mortgage quickly. You want to take a proactive approach to paying off your mortgage fast. This means turning your property from a financial burden into a valuable asset by paying off your mortgage sooner. They talk about the benefits of choosing a shorter mortgage term, which gives you more financial freedom in the long run. The idea here is that paying off your mortgage quickly can bring you long-term financial advantages and put you in a more secure position as a homeowner. In summary, it's time to start thinking differently about money when it comes to owning a home. Question what you've been told is normal and think about what really matters to you financially. The idea is to make smart decisions that fit your money goals. If nothing else, there are many benefits to having a home without a mortgage, proving that real wealth in owning a home isn't just about the property itself, but the financial freedom it can give you. Now, are you ready to rethink the age-old notion of homeownership and explore smarter financial choices? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and watch our other videos. Bye!